Greetings, guys, gals, non-binary pals, and welcome back to another video. Today, I wanted to do a little bit of a mush of a video, as in, today I thought that we would sit down and look at some Reddit posts, but not just like from a specific Reddit, just some really awful Reddit posts. I follow someone called Ask Aubrey on Twitter, and I don't know why I follow her, because all it does is bring pain to my feed every day. My timeline just makes me want to ram my head through a wall sometimes, and it is mostly her fault. And so today I wanted to go and find some of the best, worst Reddit posts that she has posted. Most of these are just men being the worst, and it's kind of like am I the asshole, but it's not am I the asshole. It's in like Reddit's like ask men and like relationship advice and like just venting, etc. And I didn't want to have to do all this searching and digging for myself, so I've gone and stolen it from her. So thank you, Aubrey. I appreciate your work, and I am stealing it. But before we get into it, I would like to take a moment to say thank you to today's patron of the day, Sage. I appreciate all of your support so much, so thank you so much. If anyone else would like to become a patron, you go to patreon.com/savvycat or click the top link in the description. It starts at as little as £1 a month, and I appreciate it greatly. For a little bit extra, I am currently working on a fun little project that I am not sharing with anyone else yet. So if you're interested in that, then go join my Patreon. Anyway, let's get into the fun, if you want to call it that. I don't. It's not fun. But we're going to pretend that it is. My husband skips a feeding so he could sleep when our baby is already not gaining weight well. Our 3-month-old is not gaining weight well. I now excessively pump due to her not latching and other reasons. We keep track of how many ounces she eats per day, and I notice she's not eating enough for the last 2 days. She usually wakes up every 2 hours, 1 a.m., 3 a.m., etc., to feed. My mom helps from 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. since I have to finish 8 hours rotation for school, so I'm usually gone for 10 hours. I also have to pump every 3 to 4 hours, so I usually wake up and do the 1 a.m. feed and pump for another 30 minutes so my husband can sleep from 12 till 3, since all he needs is to feed her and then go back to bed. 3 a.m. today, baby cried and all he did was offer pacifier so he can sleep. It's so frustrating, and I ended up waking up and feeding the baby. Of course, she's super hungry and took 1.5 ounces. It's so frustrating when I am here doing rotation for school from 5 a.m. to 5 p.m., traffic, pump 6 times a day, homework, and my husband can't even help with night feeding. That is so infuriating. That is so infuriating. I am so sorry. Oh my God. Like, bro, I know you want to sleep. I get it. We all would like to sleep. However, you don't always get that choice. And when you are a parent, especially to a newborn baby, that's not a choice that you get. It's not one that you get. If your wife doesn't get to sleep all the way through the night, you also don't get to sleep all the way through the night. You have one job, and it's to feed your baby. It doesn't take long. She's done all the work. All you have to do is take 10 minutes? I don't know how long it takes to feed a baby. Not that long to feed your baby, and then you can go back to sleep. Why do you don't want your baby to be hungry and crying? The fact that you just leave that to your wife. Bro, do your job as a father, please. Are side chicks vital? Before we even read the post, no. The answer is a really loud, resounding no. Backstory. I hate when I ask my girl for or try to initiate a blowjob from a girl, even if the mood is right. Say, for example, we're flirting all day, grabbing and touching, joking. Then after a while, as a man, we get ready. We pull it out or ask, "Are you ready?" Only to be hit with the, "I don't like being asked. Let me do it on my own terms," said no girl ever. Ladies, this is how your man ends up getting a side chick. point, I think side chicks are essential to long-term relationships from a man's point of view. No time in history did powerful men just have one woman. If they did, trust me, they didn't want to. I know from experience and from talking to guys, a guy going to get pleasure from his side chick could make him a better husband, dad, boyfriend, brother, all that. I can get sex from a side chick, tell her how I feel, and she couldn't really judge me. She just listens. She doesn't get the final say like a girlfriend or wife does. Side chicks crave sex from you too. I just want to make sure this observation isn't something that I've stumbled upon. I'm obsessed with the line of side chicks crave sex from you too. Like, if your girlfriend doesn't want to have sex with you, I feel like you fucked up somewhere. Like, especially if you went into this relationship having sex and now that doesn't happen anymore, you've done something. Because, like, obviously, as you're implying here, women do like sex. I love, like, I'll give you a blowjob on my own time, said no girl ever. My side chick will do it. That doesn't make sense. I'm sorry, the math ain't mathin' with that one there. You're dehumanizing side chicks, or is your side chick not a woman? Like, which one is this? Because if your side chick is a man, then maybe you have other things you need to think about and internalize a little bit there. Yeah, your sex drive should align with your partner's, at least somewhat, and you should be able to ask for things that you want to receive in bed. Like, you should be able to have that conversation. However, I feel like the phrasing of just like, we've been flirting and then I pull it out and say, are you ready? Like, no. That's just such a terrible buildup. There's nothing like sexy or fun about that at all. That's just, no. If your girlfriend doesn't want to have sex with you, but you want to be having sex, break up with your girlfriend and go, like, be with someone else, you know? Like, that's really the solution. Find someone who has a similar sex drive to you, and then maybe you'll be better. Maybe it'll be okay, all right? I know that sex isn't everything in a relationship. However, I feel like it is important, not to all relationships, but like the amount of sex you have is important based on, like, if you are high libido and your partner is low libido, that might not work out super great, you know? Find someone who's on your level and whom you have stuff in common with and who will, you know? You don't cheat. It doesn't make you better at anything. It just makes you a dick. Tinder bad algorithm, help. Back on Tinder after 2 years. 2 years ago, I was battling the same shadow ban issues and had to make like 10 accounts to find my previous girlfriend, which was complete luck because I would only get a match within 1 day of making an account and then shadow banned. These past 2 weeks, I've made like 10 accounts. After a day, I'll usually make a new one because I get no matches at all. Nothing. I'll receive the someone likes you, but will never get any matches. I do not want to waste any more money on platinum, as I've tried buying it 5 times over the past 2 weeks. Good lord. It would just reveal who liked me, and it was always the fat, ugly girls. I think I'm a pretty good looking guy, 6'3", athletic, pics of me playing guitar, etc. I've had girls tell me I should be a model. Sure. But every account I've made gets put in the lowest of the low algorithm. I've tried a new phone number, new pics, deleting metadata. My range is set to 20 kilometers and age 18 to 22. I'm 28, by the way. I fucking wonder why you're not getting any matches. Just even that last bit alone. Set the age 18 to 22. I'm 28, by the way. Like, when I was like 18 to 22, I did not have my age set that high. Actually, that's a lie. I did have my age set that high, and I went out with someone who was 10 years older than me when I was 19 because I didn't know any better. And then in hindsight, I'm like, that was fucking weird. Why did I do that? Why was his age that low? Right? Like, and that's the point. That's the problem, is that he wants to sleep with young girls and he knows that young girls don't think about that. Now that I'm 23, like 28's like pushing my limit for the age difference, in my opinion, because of where I'm at in my life, right? Like, my age gap on either side, personally, on dating apps is like 22 to like 27. And that's still like pushing it Because where I am in my life, I can't really go much past that. And I also don't really want to go much younger than that. And there's a lot of 18 to 22-year-olds who are not going to date you if you're 28. So they're not interested. And as soon as they find out that your cutoff point is 22, they're going to be much less interested in you. And considering this is everything you've said, I'm imagining that your bio isn't that great and you're definitely not as attractive as you think you are. Also, you have really high standards for someone who is complaining. You want someone who's between 18 to 22, but you want them to like look and be a specific way. Like, bro, you can't, beggars can't be choosers. I'm sorry. But like, I fucking wonder why you don't have any matches. Date someone your own age. Need male opinion on postpartum body and physical attraction after baby. I tried to post this on Daddit, but was told it's not really the appropriate subreddit. So if this is the wrong sub, let me know. I'm here because I'd like a male perspective on my situation. Others can chime in as well. Sorry for this long post. How did your physical attraction change towards your significant other after she had your baby? In your opinion, how much time do you think is enough for your significant other to bounce back physically after birth? Bro, I am not in a relationship. I've never dated someone with kids. I don't have the intention of dating someone who's given birth for at least a while, right? But I'm also aware that, you know, someone who has carried a baby in their body and grown a human, their body is going to look a little bit different. And you should absolutely respect that and honestly admire that. Because how fucking cool is that? This person grew a human, grew a baby that is made out of the two of yours DNA and just brought that human into the world. And you're going to complain about how her body looks after doing that? I don't understand that at all. Like, that's such a magical, beautiful, wonderful thing. And to not view that and to not view that body as something that's so beautiful and like magical is absolutely beyond me. The other day, my husband made a comment about how he thinks I might be pregnant again because my belly looks more round and sometimes he can see my IUD. I'm setting up an appointment to get that looked at. He went on to say that I don't take care of myself like I used to, that I used to get up and do my nails, but now all I'm fixated on is pumping and milk. I fucking wonder why. Good Lord. That I don't really leave the house anymore and I'm just comfortable lounging on the couch instead of going out. As he's saying these things, he started realizing how they sounded and pivoted to how he's concerned about my mental health and how he cares about me. Is this ringing Joe Jonas to any of you? Listen, he didn't say anything about postpartum body, but like these excuses sounding familiar. I thought I was making progress with getting my body back, but apparently it's not happening fast enough. I'm a first-time mom to a 6-month-old baby. My body is definitely not as tight as it was before I got pregnant, but I've lost weight, actually way less than I did, but this could be due to muscle loss. I've gained an extra 8 inches around my waist from fat and loose skin and already lost about 3 to 4 inches. Because I haven't gone to the gym, I've lost muscle definition around my legs and arms. I was already naturally curvy, so my shape still looks good, but needs work. No, it doesn't. Like, bro, you had a baby 6 months ago. Your body is not going to look how it used to, and that is okay, that's perfectly fine. You need to be softer and more cushiony so you can hold your freaking little baby and have them be comfortable, you know? Like, it shouldn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're going to be spending your time thinking about your baby and taking care of your baby. That's what you do. That's how it's meant to go. You know? Like, I can't just cut back on calories because I am pumping. I tried to diet lightly a month or two ago and my milk supply drastically suffered. I lost about 10 ounces of milk that I never got back and I'm still upset about it. So I've had to eat more, but I do eat pretty healthy. I'm not a couch potato because my baby and 2 dogs keep me active, plus I started doing some mild weight training. I'm definitely not wearing makeup on a regular basis or wear mini dresses and tight clothing like I used to, but I have so much on my plate that I can't even really go out and he rarely takes me out on dates. You don't even have to be doing weight training, right? Like if you're doing this weight training and like exercising and eating healthily and stuff because it makes you feel good and it makes you feel better in your body, good for you. Keep doing that. If you're doing that specifically because your husband is complaining, drop him. Like genuinely. I know that is really hard to do with a newborn baby and it's maybe unfair to say, but like, You deserve so much better than that. You deserve someone who appreciates your body and like you as a person after just giving a birth and all the time. Like the fact that your husband's main concern is about how you look and not the health of your baby is wild. And the fact that he expects you to do your makeup, get dressed up and everything, but then won't even take you out on a date. Like, he wants you to dress up and doll up and look really nice for just around the house while you're looking after a baby, but he won't actually take you anywhere? Fuck him. Like, what the fuck? To say that I'm upset about it is an understatement. Valid. I'm deeply hurt by it. I'm basically a stay-at-home working mom. I'm in charge of most of the baby's care. I pump 4 times a day on a schedule. I care for our animals, work from home. Boss knows I take care of a baby while working and is completely okay with it. I try to maintain 2 side hustles after the baby goes to sleep or naps, Uber Eats at night, and eBay, because we need the extra money, do most of the housework, and pay a significant portion of our bills. On top of this, I do my best to present as a wife. I make sure he's eating home-cooked meals, and I spend a lot of time with him when we wind down for the night. I try to make subtle sexual advances to initiate sex, but they often get shut down, and now I know why. You are doing so much. Oh my God, this woman is doing everything. So what's your husband doing? What's he doing? What is he doing? I genuinely, I need to know what he's doing, because it sounds like not really anything. And yet you feel like you have to do everything for him. I love and deeply adore my husband and he's my best friend, but I feel like he's being so unfair and unkind. I feel like my efforts unappreciated and I'm inadequate. When he said all those things, I told him that I just had our baby and he responded with, yeah, 6 months ago. Insinuating that 6 months is enough for me to get back into shape. When I told him I can't go out and get my nails done because we don't have room in our budget, he told me I can do them myself. Like I need to add another thing on my plate. It doesn't help that when we were at the beach last week, he was gawking at some girl at our hotel who had a BBL. My confidence level is already low, and after all of this, I feel like he just nuked it. I don't even have the motivation to work out anymore. Oh my good God. This man is the worst. I'm so sorry. Oh my God. Some men just fucking suck, you know? Like, that's so awful. That's so terrible. 6 months is not a long time, especially when you have a list like 10 miles long of shit you have to do and that you aren't getting any help with. The fact that you're having to do all of that, absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I'm so sorry. Why are you doing the side hustle at night? That's implying that he stays home, but like you're also the one looking after the baby all the time. This whole thing is so ridiculous. The fact that like getting your nails done is up there on like his list of priorities too is wild. That's wild. My God, some men don't deserve anything. They just don't. And it's like the fact that he's their best friends, right? The fact that she sees him as his best friend, someone she loves deeply, that she thought cared about her and loved her, but as soon as she looks a little different, he's immediately like, ew, why aren't you doing anything for me? Like babies come along and then suddenly men are like, actually, you know what? I hate my wife because she's looking after the baby instead of spending time with me. Fucking go away. My God. Don't have a baby if you don't want your wife to pay attention to that baby. And if you don't want to pay your own attention to that baby. Like, get over it. I don't believe in tipping women. I don't tip women. The wage gap in the server delivery industry is insane. Every single night at every single tipped job I've ever worked, the women would have nearly double the amount of tips as the men. I believe in equality, so I will never tip a woman unless I'm on a date and she's watching. Bro, what? What? That's not even true, though. Women are not tipped more in general. That's just overall true. I was reading a lot of replies to this, and a lot of people were saying how actually usually men get tipped more because they're viewed as more competent at their jobs. And women don't get tipped as much because they're not viewed as competent at their jobs, which is very interesting. Also, who cares? You know, in general, men make way more money. Like, what is it that if in this one industry, women made more? Like, it doesn't fucking matter. Just tip your waiters. I have many opinions on tipping. I don't think tipping is good. I think that the businesses should be paying their workers and we shouldn't have to subsidize for that. However, I know that in the States it is very important because they make literally nothing outside of tips. So tip your workers, tip your waiters, please. Tip everyone, okay? Unless they like spit in your food, tip them. Am I the asshole for making my husband sleep in the guest room after he refused to clean up his own vomit? Probably not. That's where I'm leaning from where I'm standing. Last night, my husband had some work friends over for a barbecue and drinks. I worked today and I did all the prep work, cooking and cleaning so him and his friends could enjoy their time together. That's wild that you did all the cooking and cleaning for your husband to have a gathering with his friends. Like, it's not even like a stay-at-home mom, like, wife thing. Like, you were at work, so you did all the cooking and cleaning before. He couldn't do that anyway. He ended up getting pretty drunk and threw up in our bathroom sink, left it, and refused to clean it up when I asked him to do it. His refusals included, I don't know what to do to clean it up, and I closed the drain on the sink and now I can't get it open. It's one of the drains that you push to close and push to open. Also, I don't have the time to clean it because I have to work early. Little background on our situation. He works full-time, pays 60% of the bills, and I work part-time, 40% of the bills. Therefore, I deal with all domestic house duties. If you're working 60-40, I don't think that means you should get 100% of the house duties. That split doesn't make sense. That should be 60-40 house duties then. Don't get me wrong, I love my role in our home and I truly am happy to do it. However, this just feels like straight up disrespect. I was super upset after him feeding me the excuse of why he can't clean up his own vomit. He smelled horribly of liquor and was starting to raise his voice at me when he was explaining he couldn't clean because he had to go to work to pay for all the things we want. To be clear, we have our own individual bank accounts and he doesn't pay for any of my personal bills or recreational purchases. After his excuses of why not to clean it up, I didn't engage or continue with the argument because when you're sober, there's no reasoning with a drunk person. So I had asked him to sleep in the spare room. Now I just feel guilty. So tell it to me straight. Am I the asshole in this situation? You absolutely are not the asshole. You're absolutely not the asshole. I think that he should have set up for his own gathering. But you know, you said you're happy to do that. That's fine. That's up to you. But the fact that he couldn't even clean up his own vomit, bro, I don't know how to figure it out, man. Figure it out. You should know how to do that. You should know how to do that. You're an adult. Figure it out. Good Lord. My God. I hate some people. Some people suck. Some people are just the worst. I'm so sorry. My boyfriend thinks it's okay for him to tell me to wear more modest clothing even during the ongoing heat wave, but I told him it was not okay. Am I wrong here? Usually I dress modestly, so this is not something that has ever become a problem between us in the past. However, due to the heat wave, I've been wearing dresses and skirts that show relatively more skin, but it's most definitely not inappropriate and I'm still more covered up than most other women. I wore an outfit that showed cleavage and apparently it was more than he was comfortable with, so he asked me if that was the outfit, i.e. if I was going to wear something over it. He later admitted that he was not comfortable with me wearing that dress and he thinks it's okay to have boundaries in this regard. He said that he would be okay with me telling him what he can wear, so it's not him being sexist. Am I wrong in believing that he shouldn't have a say in what I wear and vice versa? Men in particular, seem to not know what the word boundary means and are just throwing it in women's faces, being like, here's a word that you like. See, it's a boundary. You can't cross boundaries. You can't cross them. You told me I can't cross your boundaries. You can't cross my boundaries. That's not what a boundary is. A boundary is something concerning yourself, not the other person. Her boundary is don't fucking tell me what to wear. That's an okay thing, right? You cannot have a boundary that's controlling what another person does. That's not how this works, okay? Like, you can't just control someone and tell them what to do and call that a boundary. A boundary that I have is like, don't put an animal product on my plate. Don't take me to a fucking steakhouse. Like, those are boundaries that I have because those are integral, like, to my moral compass. Those are important for me. Right? And then like a preference I have is like, don't eat a steak while we're in the same room. I can't tell them they're not allowed to do that because that's a boundary that I have. That's just a preference that I have. I can't control them. I can't make them not do that. And if that's not something that I can tolerate, because it's not really something I can tolerate, I can leave, right? Like that's not something for me to control. If that's not something that I like in a person, that's a preference. And that the way I control that situation is that I leave. Okay? That's how this goes. My boundary is them not making me do something I don't want to do. My preference is them not doing something that makes me a bit upset. You can't tell people what to do. I also just want to know why this makes men uncomfortable. Like, why can't she show a little bit of skin in a heat wave? Why can't she do that? What's the problem with that? I don't understand this issue of like other people will see her skin. Like, who cares? What does that fucking matter? Like, get over it. I don't understand that at all. That logic makes no sense to me. I truly don't understand. You should not be telling each other what to wear. You can give opinions on like fashion and be like, what do you think of my outfit? And you can be like, I'm not a big fan. Like, that's fine. Obviously, if someone's asking for opinions on their outfit, you can give their opinion. But you can't tell people what to wear or say that their outfits make you uncomfortable. Let people wear what they want to wear. It's not up to you. And I'm sorry to this person who's had to wait this long into a relationship to find out that this person is like this. Yikes. Anyway, I think I'm gonna leave this video here because I am hungry and I need to go eat some food. I hope that you have enjoyed. A massive thank you to my Sprout and Above patrons whose names are on the screen right now. I love and appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for joining. And a huge thank you to my Kiwi Cat patrons. Harry, Toulouse, Bobby, Sparrow, Josh, Mandy, Robbie, Ikazel, Jessica, Eldo, Trini, Raven, Danielle, Enoli Like Cannoli, Elias, Jewel, Apollo, Taylor is Trying, Boston, and Chris. I love and appreciate you greatly. Thank you so much for joining. If you would like to become a patron, you go to patreon.com/savvycat or click the top link in the description. For as little as £1 a month, you get my videos a day early, as well as podcasts a week early. And then for £3 and up, you get things such as outtakes, bonus mini podcasts, live streams, vlogs, and access to a special new project that I am working on. So if you're interested, go check it out. I appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe if you aren't already. 60% of you are not subscribed, so let's try make that number smaller. Yeah, smaller. We want to make that number smaller. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, etc. Follow me on Instagram, The Queer Kiwi, and Twitter, That Queer Kiwi. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe. Keep fighting. I love you. Mwah.